I want to welcome everybody to this video. I'm burning sage, as you can see. It's like my morning routine, when I'm kind of getting to myself, getting into my habit of recording these videos and excelling consciousness to you guys, right? But we need to speak about something, honestly. And I feel like this is a topic that a lot of people, not only do they find themselves speaking on, they find themselves every single day kind of craving more and more, right? And that's authenticity. The rise of AI didn't change stuff. I mean, I just seen Kobe Bryant having a conversation with Nipsey Hussle. It's like we're heading to a point in time where people will start valuing real things over materialistic, fake things, right? Facades. Anything that's not natural, you can say. These last, I want to say 10 years, this last decade, with the rise of social media, Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and all these apps that consistently we're on and we're consuming data, we're consuming these videos on our conscious mind. And I don't think a lot of people are actually understanding the values that will be destroyed and the values that were once aligned in the past is not becoming aligned anymore. And stay to the end, because this is a very particular, important aspect of this video, right? If you're a person that's authentic, right, or you're yourself, you don't need anybody to imitate their personality. You don't need anybody around you for you to facilitate around others, right? That is becoming more and more of a threat, right? When I say a threat, I mean even at the workplace or just out there in the real world, out there on social media, etc. A lot of people find authenticity to be a little bit intimidating. Now, if you ask me, the reason I would say I felt like a lot of people find it intimidating is because social media has increased this sense of facade, right? This sense of impersonation. You can make yourself look like any type of individual on social media, but the best thing is if you keep your own same energy, right? And if you keep your own same personality for you. When you're yourself, you don't have to imitate nobody. You don't have to fake anything, right? So you can move in this world at your own pace. You can move in this world based on the things that you want to do, based on your true core values and the things that align with how you think of the world, your perception, your consciousness state, right? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I had imposter syndrome for a while, and I felt like around this time, the authentic version of myself, I felt like wasn't really being accepted to those that I wanted it to be accepted by, whether if that was peers, family, or friends, and just the world, right? External validating, right? Social media and Instagram. And I started seeing how, yes, I was gaining more attraction, being superficial and, sharing materialistic items, but something internally, something spiritually felt very off. It's like my spirit was telling me, like, bro, this isn't you, right? Like, the way you carrying yourself now, you shouldn't carry yourself because it's not real. It's not authentic. Fast forward till today, I feel like this is the most authentic version of myself there's ever been, And I see the difference now. I see that I can move at my own pace. I see that God and the universe has blessed me with things that I needed to go along my path and help others, right? And the same for you if you're watching this, right? I don't want to assume that people that watch my videos don't understand what I'm saying or I have to teach them, because you guys are very understanding. You guys are very knowledgeable yourself, right? It's all about embracing the knowledge that you know, embracing the information that you're gaining, right? The insightful information that you're gaining every single day on videos, on TikTok, and applying that to your own life. If you're authentic, you will face a lot of people trying to get in your energy. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're at the workplace, you stay to yourself, right? And you're just there to work and go home. That's intimidating to a lot of people. That creates a hostile environment, right? If you're authentic on social media, a lot of people don't like that because you threaten their ego. You threaten their realm of existence that was built on this house of cards, right? That was built on this idealization of what it means to be a superficial facade, right? We see it every single day, right? If you increase your discernment and you increase your gift of understanding and seeing through people, you can actually start seeing, like, damn, like, what I'm saying? You can actually, it's damn near like a superpower. But all it is just you understanding your discernment and understanding pattern recognition. That's what it is, honestly, right? I try my hardest not to make anything sound superstitious, because you're capable, a person that's not even consciously aware, right, that doesn't understand what's going on in the world, they can see through people as well. just by using their intuitive understanding on how an individual reacts and acts around others or within themselves, right? You need to embrace your authenticity. People are craving it. I mean, with AI taking over and AI creating these videos, what do you think a lot of people is going to start kind of having that nostalgia for, right? Those social connections in person that we used to have, right? Those barbecues and kickbacks and just everybody just being themselves. Nobody care what that person is wearing. Nobody cares if they don't have designer or whatever. Nobody cares if that person have 100,000 followers on social media or whatever. People are starting to go back to this essence of individuality, right? Authenticity, right? Hey man, look, if I encounter somebody and I can immediately tell that they're not being themselves, I wouldn't even get mad. I wouldn't. You know, I just think it's because what the world promoted, right? What the world and Americanized culture, what the social media has promoted to the rest of the world, right? With these images and how we carry ourselves, that's not real, right? I mean, you can go on social media and you can flex and do whatever you want to do, but we still have bills. We still have to maintain friendships. We still have to maintain our relationships with others, right? We still have to constantly grow and elevate as an individual. And that's pretty hard in today's world, if you ask me, right? In 2025, bro, you know, I genuinely feel like social media is kind of like at its down point, if you ask, you know? I mean, YouTube will still be here because I feel like a lot of people have their own, you know, subjective type of videos they watch. But most importantly, you can see real people. You get me? I was fooled on a video on TikTok about AI, right? I'm thinking it's a real video. I'm over here like, damn, bro. I'm, you know, showing empathy towards the situation. I guess it was like a homeless person, but it was AI that needed help or something. Like a whole story, bro. But turns out in the end of the video, it was fake. It was like AI, bro. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that made me realize, like, damn, bro, I might be cooked by the time I'm like 70 or 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? But man, look, back on topic, like, authenticity is a blessing, right? When you can be yourself and you don't have any societal pressure on changing your norms or changing your values, that is the most wonderful thing in existence. You can move at your own pacing, right? When you kept up this image, right, or this facade, you have to live by that, right? Think about it. Any liar or any person that has to create a narrative about something or someone, they have to live by that, because once they tell the truth, the house of cards come falling down, and everything that they made out to be about the other person was really about themselves. This whole analogy you can apply for the same of authenticity in yourself. Do not fake a personality or don't imitate something you're not, because there will become a point in time where it will crumble, right? You can only lie and you can only fake being something for so long until others realize like something a little off, right? And then anxiety from you understanding that you weren't being yourself, that's going to create the whole downfall in the house of dominoes to collapse. It's a beautiful thing being authentic, okay? If you're watching this, you might have friends and family and people that just don't accept who you are truly. I don't care what it is, a preference, I don't care what it is, bro. Just you being yourself is intimidating. But once you embrace that and you see like, damn, me being myself is intimidating to others, you'll embrace it even more. Bro, real true story, by the way, right? Back then when I was superficial, everybody loved that, bro. The people that was around, they loved it, right? Because they was eating it up. They're like, yeah, bro, you know what I'm saying? You superficial just like us. And when I paused and I started kind of like getting inside the real essence of who I was, right? That's when everybody started changing. Like, damn, bro, I mean, I gotta fake who I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can't fake who I am no more, bro. Like, damn. Shit, he became himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing that applies to your own life, man. Be yourself. There's nothing out here in the world that you have to feel like you have to prove constantly. Be yourself. That is the new currency. That is the new reward in today's age, right? I mean, the moment I was to myself, like I'm talking about 100%, not even like 95 or like just not even like a sense of a percentage where I was faking it. The moment where I was like, okay, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I believe in, this is what I'm gonna stand by, my whole life changed, right? My life elevated to a sense of my calling. I felt like God and the universe was waiting for me to put myself in this realm of authenticity and helping others through my own trials and tribulations and experiences. And once I did that, there was no coincidence that that dark pit that I was in, and having no money and having to struggle and getting betrayed, and just that cycle was over immediately. And God gave everything that I had lost. He gave it all back to me plus more. And this time I'm smarter, and I understand that anything can be taken away at any time. So you create a maintenance and a contingency plan for the things that you value, right? Your authentic self, right? Whether you don't even need a lot, right? It's just little things like what are your beliefs you're gonna protect, because you're gonna ask others, what is it that you value, right? Anything about money or materialistic or anything that can be replaced won't value anymore. You won't care about it. I mean, that's just the truth, because you gotta think about it. That was never, like, biologically, since the dawn of human time, that never existed. What existed was our empathy, our feelings, how we look at others, our perception, right? Our intrinsic value on how we get up, our habits, right? Truth, right? Honesty, energy. These are the things that matter, and they will always matter past authenticity and past the facades and past anything else you want to name it. So if you have a problem being authentic and embracing yourself, bro, I'm here to tell you, do it. Straight up. Be yourself. Don't care about what nobody else think. Don't care about what anybody else trying to make a rumor about you. Whatever. Be yourself. That's what's gonna save you. It's your boy AJ Collins, man. Mufasa X. I love y'all, man. Y'all take care of yourself. Be authentic.